when we regenerate images in our memory, we now have a new felt experience. Factual memory of the actual event still is there, but in our nervous system, we feel like this new felt experience. So my nervous system doesn't know that regenerated image isn't real. It doesn't know that it was pretend that I was talking to my parents. Or in some spiritual level, to get very meta about this, do we know that it was pretend? I don't know that they weren't there.
Right.
I often believe that they were. So when we go back into the memory, you have to be in the memory. When you go recalling a memory, a recalled memory can be biochemically destabilized so that it can be regenerated and anchored differently in the body. And that's what the research says. And we continue to prove over and over again in our experiences. We have to be in the memory, not talking about it. That perspective is critical. And when we have that as a real felt experience, now in my nervous system feels safer, more confident, more secure, because I have this emotional memory of getting the love and support that I needed and discovering that I had more love and support than I remembered. And then those pieces that were all negative memories that I thought were negative memories that were running the show, all that stuff that's beneath the surface, pulling the levers, the wizard behind the curtain there, pulling all the levers, pulling all the buttons, that wizard is now a lot happier and is not getting pissed off at everybody that doesn't do everything as expected. Right. Everything is not further evidence that the world's out to get me and I have to always prove myself because I'm not enough. Right. Because now I find out that, maybe I was safer. Maybe I was enougher. Is that a word?
Yeah, it is now.
Enougher. All those new, what I could say, well, I know this was pretend and yet it feels real. So those new anchored feelings are real because in our memory of our shitty parts of our childhood, they're not really real either. I mean, some factual events are real, but every time you recall a memory, it weakens, it gets a little different. It's like in the old days in our age, when they made post-mimeograph, but early copy machines, every time you made a copy of a copy, it disintegrated. Degraded quality. And so that's what the science on memory shows, that every time you recall a memory, it degrades it like a copy of a copy of a copy. And so when you pop into a memory from the 3rd grade that you haven't thought of since then, it's probably more accurate than the story you've told 50 times. Because it's 50 copies deep of degraded copies. And so, and you talk to your sibling who was there and they're like, what are you talking about? That never happened, or it happened differently. And you have a big fight about it. And the science shows we don't really know what we think we know. And even if we did, it is a perspective that we made up from our point of view. Because if you get just to the facts, you could pull out a videotape of what happened if there was one available. Your siblings could tell you from their vantage point what was happening, and you're thinking from your vantage point, well, someone's here. These are all opinions. Factually, what happened is what happened, and the rest of it's made up. We keep changing it, going around, and then we can make up stories about what it means.
We can pick a side.
But let's say it's all accurate. Let's say our memory is 100% accurate. Let's say all these horrible things happen. All of that's true. Our brain is wired to keep us safe and alive. We live better if we survive the things that are dangerous. Right? We can live without luxuries that make us feel good, but you don't live for the things that might kill you. So our brain is pre-wired to keep us safe as a species. We focus on the negative to avoid the things that could kill us, to keep us safe. So it makes sense that we naturally remember all the shitty things. We don't remember all the joyful moments because if the shitty things are big enough and bold enough, we focus on that, and people say, well, you were doing I don't know, my coach friends love to take people through the peak experiences, and you're going through your peak experience. Oh, Christ, I don't want to go back to them. I don't want to talk about peak experience in my childhood. I can't think of any. But now I can, because we've taken all those lows that were so bold, and they're not that bold anymore. Now I can see there's so many times that we had fun, that there were joyful moments, that there was a lot of love and support. And the people that really hurt me the most, that I spent decades not doing forgiveness work, thinking I was, thinking about it, talking about it, turns out they were a huge source of love and support in my life. I know that now.
And how were you able to learn that?
by going back and duking it out with them. I had to go back and express all my anger. I did lots of pouring out of the anger,
right, so
that I could get to forgiveness. Because what happens when we talk about it is we often say, well, I can't get mad at her anymore. I'm trying to let that go. You have the t-shirt, so let that shit go.
And how's it working?
Yeah. Hasn't worked for anyone I know yet, right? But we focus, no, it works for me.
I tried harder.
I get in the lotus position and I meditate and I go om and I'm letting all that shit go. And if we could just let it go, it would have gone already.
Yeah.